Hi, and welcome to our discussion of employment authorization issues for F1 students. My name is Emily Newman, immigration attorney with Reddy and Newman PC, located in Houston, Texas. Before we begin, I need to let you know that the information I'm going to provide should not be construed as legal advice for your specific situation. For specific advice on your situation, please contact an attorney. This information should not be construed as legal advice and does not constitute an engagement with Reddy and Newman PC or establish an attorney-client relationship. I want to begin by talking about the cap gap. For F1 students who have an OPT that is expiring between April 1st and October 1st, you will be caught in what's called a cap gap situation because the H-1B that you will eventually file will not begin until October 1st. A rule came out in recent years that would basically allow your OPT to be automatically extended until October 1st if you filed an H-1B application and you've requested a change of status from F1 to H-1B in that application. If you fall into that category, you are eligible for an automatic cap gap extension, meaning that your OPT will automatically be extended to October 1st if your H-1B has been filed. If you have any dependents in the U.S. that are on F2 status, their F2 will also automatically be extended. It's important to point out that if your H-1B eventually gets denied or revoked or withdrawn, your cap gap extension will terminate. If you have an OPT extension from the cap gap, the OPT will end 10 days after the date that your H-1B is withdrawn, denied, or revoked. Your F1 status will continue for 30 days after your H-1B is withdrawn, denied, or revoked. If your OPT, the initial period of your OPT, has not yet expired and your H-1B is denied, withdrawn, or revoked, your OPT will remain valid for the rest of the validity period. So that is for those who have not had their OPT expire yet and have not started the automatic cap gap period. For some H-1Bs, they may remain pending after October 1st. As I mentioned, the automatic cap gap only lasts until October 1st. So if your H-1B is still pending at that time, your OPT extension will end if you're on the automatic cap gap. It ends on September 30th. So that means you have to stop working from October 1st until the time that your H-1B application is approved. You are eligible to remain in the U.S. during this time because you'll be in a period of authorized stay, but you cannot work after October 1st until your H-1B is actually approved. I want to talk about what types of employment count for your OPT status. It's a pretty broad category. Almost any type of employment will work for the regular period of your OPT and also the automatic cap gap extension period of the OPT. It can be paid employment or unpaid, part-time or full-time as long as it's at least 20 hours a week. You can work for multiple employers. It can be many short-term employment opportunities. You can work as an independent contractor on a 1099. You can start your own business, or you can work through an agency. As long as whatever employment situation you're in, your job has to be related to your degree program. I also want to point out some newer rules regarding unemployment during your OPT period. For the 1-year OPT and the automatic cap gap extension period, you're limited to 90 days of unemployment. Anything over that, your school official does need to enter that into SEVIS system, and it's possible that ICE may consider that you are out of status or you could be terminated in SEVIS. There is a grace period for those of you that are changing jobs, so you are allowed a 10-day gap between jobs in order to wrap things up if you need to move to a new location, and that 10-day period does not count towards the 90-day limit. Along with unemployment, there are new reporting requirements, so you need to contact your school official within 10 days of changing your address if you've had a legal name change, or, as I mentioned, any interruptions in your employment. You need to make sure that you contact your school official as soon as possible to avoid any possible determination that you've not maintained your status. Now I want to talk about those that are eligible for a STEM extension of the OPT, those that have degrees in science, technology, engineering, or math. If you're going to be working for an employer that's enrolled in E-Verify and you have a degree that is on the list of approved degrees for STEM, science, technology, engineering, or math, you're eligible for an additional 17 months of OPT employment. You do have to file an application to get this. It's not like the automatic CAP-GAP extension that happens automatically. So before your current OPT expires, you have to get a new I-20 from your school and file a new I-765 application. You can file that up to 120 days in advance. It's recommended that you file at least 90 days in advance so that you can get the new card before the previous one expires. If for some reason your new card doesn't come, or there's a delay, you still can work while you're waiting for the new card for up to 180 days. You want to make sure that you get the proper E-Verify account number from your employer, because you do have to include this information on your I-765 form. And this is really important because I've actually seen several cases where the employer provided the wrong E-Verify number or a number that was not a real account number, and the OPT extension was actually denied because of that, and the student ended up having to file a motion to reopen, paying $585 worth of filing fees for that, and caused a lot of trouble when the application could have simply easily been approved with the proper E-Verify number. So double check that the account number is correct on that. Some of the differences between the OPT and automatic CAP-GAP period and the STEM OPT period involve the type of work that qualifies for the STEM extension. If you're on your STEM extension period, you have to work at least 20 hours per week, and it must be paid employment. Any volunteering that you do is incidental to your status. You can volunteer, but it does not count for you to maintain your STEM OPT status. You can work multiple jobs for multiple employers, but in the STEM extension period, you have to work for all employers that are in E-Verify. Again, it has to be at least 20 hours per week, and it must be paid. If you are in your STEM extension, you are eligible to change employers at any time, as long as the new employer is also in E-Verify. There's no requirement that you get a new I-20. You don't have to file anything, but you do have to report the change of employment to your school official within 10 days. You can also change employers while the STEM extension application, that I-765 application, is pending, but if you do, you need to amend the I-765 application to let the Immigration Service know and provide the new employer's E-Verify account information. So if you are in your STEM extension, you must work in a paid position for an E-Verify company for at least 20 hours per week. Your position has to be directly related to your STEM degree. You have to report to your school official within 10 days of any legal name change, address change, change in employment, or loss of employment. If you're on your STEM extension, you cannot work for a company that's not in E-Verify. And there's another unemployment provision for STEM extension students. You cannot have more than 120 days of unemployment during the 12-month period of regular OPT plus the STEM OPT extension time. So the regular 90-day limit is increased to 120 days if you are on a STEM extension. It's really important, if you have any travel plans and you're on a student visa with OPT, make sure you contact an attorney before you make your travel plans. It could result in the abandonment of your change of status application. So that's a very important point. There is updated guidance regarding the OPT extension and the STEM extension on the ICE website, so feel free to take a look at that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at Reddy and Newman PC. Our Houston number is 713-953-7787, our Dallas office. Number is 214-281-8900, and you can see us on our website, rnlawgroup.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on Twitter. Thank you again for listening. My name is Emily Newman, immigration attorney with Reddy and Newman PC, located in Houston, Texas.